you stand on the shoulders of the teams that came before you that created all that incredible work, that were responsible for creating those emotional connections with millions of consumers.
Greatness is no more unique to us than breathing. We're all capable of it. All of us.
Well, first and foremost, it's a brand that is incredibly clear on its purpose and mission, right? Totally clear that its mission is to serve athletes. And there's always an asterisk next to athletes, which means if you have a body, you're an athlete. So it's an incredibly inclusive mission to serve everyone, regardless of body type, skill level, age, right? So it's a very democratic brand. And so imagine everyone as they come into the work and walk in that front door, virtually or physically, they understand what the pursuit is. The second thing I would say there culturally is, and I got this on my first day when I came to Nike, which was this mantra, lead from the front, which meant you weren't going to wait to see what the competition was doing, right? You were going to be an innovation front runner. So this idea that you're always looking to exceed what you did the day before, that you'd never be complacent, that you'd always believe that you can improve the performance of your products and in turn empower athletes to do the same. The way you serve your customers is you have to obviously deliver rational or functional value, right? Your product actually has to make them perform better than they did the day before, right? So that's the rational value, right? That the attributes and benefits that allow them to perform at a higher level. But there's limits to that, right? There's limits to how light you could make a shoe or how fast you could make a car, but there are no limits to psychological or emotional value. You can build that over time. You have to commit to it. But for a startup founder, a small team, or an established brand, that means you have to commit to building brand associations, building a world around your product through the stories you tell, creating really strong visual elements, like all these different things that ultimately empower or give your customer more self-belief, right? When they engage with your brand. And so anyone can practice that. It's not a question of budgets, right? Or even timelines. It just starts with a mindset that you are going to commit to not only delivering functional performance in your products, but you're going to make sure that you're also thinking about how you make people feel. Because at the end of the day, I think the very best brands, what separates them from everybody else comes down to a question. You know, most brands ask the question already, how do you want people to feel about your brand? That's branding 101, right? What's the impression you want them to have about your brand, right? But the very best brands go further and they ask, how do you want people to feel about themselves when they engage with your brand? And when they engage with your brand, do they feel empowered to achieve their aspirations and dreams? You have to master the fundamentals first. You don't get to skip some of the foundational things you need to do to build a brand, right? So that's why oftentimes I do talk a lot about building a brand house first and foremost. because this is going to be the North Star that everyone in your small or mid or large size company is going to follow, right? So oftentimes I talk about the need to have this one-page document that clearly articulates, what your purpose is, why you exist, what your mission is, where are you going in your vision, how are you going to get there, what are your values, and then what's your brand position in the marketplace that makes you distinct from everybody else. A lot of companies don't have that. Even mature companies. That's not about budgets, that's not about the scale of your business, it's about mastering the fundamentals.